Chapter 293, The Array of Water, Fire, Wind and Thunder. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Beagzuling stood gracefully on the auction block like a peerless beauty. She fused her voice with genuine chi, turning it into a sound wave that spread across the whole auction house. She said, "The starting price of the white ginseng fruit is 1,000 spiritual crystals, and each raise is to be no fewer than 100 spiritual crystals, 1,200 spiritual crystals, 1,500 spiritual crystals." Their warriors in the auction house kept raising their crystal signs and increasing the price. Although the starting bid for the white ginseng fruit was not high, there were lots of people who wanted it. The competition was intense. As long as it was a treasure that absorbed anima, which could greatly improve one's cultivation, it would be snapped up by warriors. It is said that the white ginseng fruit can promote warriors of the earth realm to a higher realm. Singkong said, "But it only makes sense in theory and may not always work in real life." Zhang Yuochen nodded in agreement. It would still be hard for him to break through to the final state of the earth realm even if he took the 500-year-old ice snow lotus, not to mention that the white ginseng fruit only lived for 300 years. But he could buy it for Kongzhuan. That was not a bad idea. Zhang Yuochen raised his sign and called, 2,000 spiritual crystals, 2,100 spiritual crystals, 2,200 spiritual crystals. The older generation of warriors bid for it too. The white ginseng fruit didn't mean much to them, but they could give it to their juniors. The white ginseng fruit was different from the war map. If they bought the war map for the juniors would think that they could defeat anyone, which would lead to them being lazy and depending on the war map. However, the white ginseng fruit could improve a warrior's abilities, and that was an actual benefit. Spiritual fruits that could promote cultivation were difficult to obtain. The commandery prince of Minxiu called 5,000 spiritual crystals. Seeing this price, many people gave up the idea of bidding for the white ginseng fruit. After all, this price far exceeded its value. In addition to this, it was the Prince Commandery of Minxiu who had bid. Hardly anyone in the Omen Ridge would dare to offend the Commandery Prince of Minxiu. Chang Kiki discouraged Zhang Yuochen. "Forget it. The Commandery Prince of Minxiu is not only powerful as hell, he was also the junior fellow apprentice of the palace master Yi Hui of the Tai King Palace. We can't afford to offend him. We shouldn't displease a big shot for something as small as a white ginseng fruit." Singkong glanced at Zhang Yuochen. "I have a 300-year-old emerald moon fruit. Its efficacy is about the same as the white ginseng fruit. You can have it if you want." Zhang Yuochen's reason for bidding for the white ginseng fruit was to help Kongzhuan improve her cultivation. So it was not indispensable. He didn't need to offend the Commandery Prince of Minxiu. "All right, but the emerald moon fruit belongs to you. How could I take your spiritual dose for free? I will pay 5,000 spiritual crystals for it. What do you think?" Zhang Yuochen asked. Singkong lifted his wine gourd and took a sip. "It's up to you. But if you want to buy it, I will not be your eldest brother anymore. 5,000 spiritual crystals are not enough. I want 50,000 spiritual crystals. I won't sell for even one spiritual crystal less." This brought a wry smile to Zhang Yuochen's lips. If he insisted on paying for the emerald moon fruit, he might offend Singkong and sour their relationship. In this way, Zhang Yuochen accepted the emerald moon fruit Singkong offered without paying a single spiritual crystal. As for the white ginseng fruit on the auction block, there was no doubt that the Prince Commandery of Minxiu had bought it. The third item on auction was a mid-class spiritual stage broadsword technique. After some fierce competition, it was sold to someone from the God Blood School. Beagzuling started to introduce the fourth item. She said, "This is a set of formation flags made by a 5th-class array master. It is called the Array of Water, Fire, Wind and Thunder and has 32 formation flags in all. Once it is used for an array, it can attack as well as defend. When using it to attack, it will be powerful enough to kill warriors in the dawn state of the heaven realm. Using it for defense, it can withstand attacks from warriors in the final state of the heaven realm." As soon as she finished her words, The crowd burst out into shocked gasps. The power of this set of formation flags is almost equal to a defender array. This set of formation flags is much more powerful than ordinary defender arrays. It's definitely a treasure. I want it no matter how high the price. The Hellion clan only lacks a defender array. So we must get this set of formation flags. The array of water, fire, wind and thunder. Seeing that every warrior in the sales room was attracted to the formation flags, Ba'Yxuling smiled and said, "This set of formation flags starts at the price of 80,000 spiritual crystals, and each raise is to be no fewer than 1,000 spiritual crystals. Now let's begin." Hearing the starting price, many of the people who were quarreling lost their words. The price started at 80,000 spiritual crystals, which meant 80 million silver coins. There were hardly any warriors that could command so many spiritual crystals. Finally, an elder of the Hellion clan decided to bid for it. 80,000 spiritual crystals, he said. The Hellion clan was only a 6th-class family with a limited fortune. 80,000 spiritual crystals was a fortune to them. The spiritual crystals that the elder of the Hellion clan could use was 80,000 at most. At this moment, Hellion Wen only hoped that other forces were not interested in the array of water, fire, wind and thunder. Otherwise, there was no way he could buy this set of formation flags. However, Hellion Wen underestimated the importance other forces attached to the array. After his bidding, the VIP sales room displayed a plate with the price of 90,000 spiritual crystals. They had added 10,000 spiritual crystals. People had to admit that as a 4th-class suzerain, Yuntai suzerain had deep pockets. Almost immediately the VIP secret room for the Commandery Prince of Minshu displayed their price, which was 100,000 spiritual crystals. 105,000 spiritual crystals. The VIP secret room for the God Blood School also displayed their price. These forces attached great importance to this set of formation flags. It was not only for its actual value but also for the research value of the formation flags. There were only 2 5th-class array masters in the whole of Oman Ridge, and they were from the School of the Martial Market and the Federation of Inscription. As for other forces, their most powerful array master was just a 4th-class array master. If they could buy the array of water, fire, wind and thunder and give it to a 4th-class array master in their suzerains, the masters would surely be enlightened. Maybe they could even make more arrays of water, fire, wind and thunder. This was the real value of this set of formation flags. In a split second, the price of the array of water, fire, wind and thunder had surpassed 120,000 spiritual crystals. And it was still rising. Huang Yanjun talked with Zhang Yuochen secretly by sending the sound wave to his ears. She said, "Zhang Yuochen, the underwater dragon palace is very dangerous. We must buy the array of water, fire, wind and thunder so that we have a higher chance of survival. How many spiritual crystals do you have?" After purchasing the painting of a cloud dragon, Zhang Yuochen had just over 90,000 spiritual crystals left. Zhang Yuochen asked her, "How many spiritual crystals do you have?" Huang Yanjun answered, "The royal family members in Cayenne's Yue Commandery receive spiritual crystals according to their cultivation. The greater one's cultivation is, the more property they could use. Based on my cultivation, I can use about 50,000 spiritual crystals now. That should be enough." Zhang Yuochen held up the crystal plate which displayed 130,000 spiritual crystals. When Zhang Yuochen bid, all the warriors in the auction house were shocked. Generally speaking, a treasure like the array of water, fire, wind and thunder could only be sold to the top forces. That was why the Hellion clan had already given up. A young junior dares to bid for the array of water, fire, wind and thunder. Who is he? People turned their eyes to Zhang Yuochen. Someone recognized him and said, "That's the 9th prince of Yunwu Commandery, Zhang Yuochen." It is said that he is a great genius. His aptitude is neck and neck with his elder brother Zhang Tangai. But he is just a prince from an inferior commandery. How could he have the money to buy the array of water, fire, wind and thunder? Someone smiled sarcastically and said, "The fortune of the royal family of Yunwu Commandery is equal to that of the Hellion clan. Even the Yunwu Commandery prince himself could not easily bear the price of 130,000 spiritual crystals." You guys don't understand. Zhang Yuochen is more than just a prince from Yunwu Commandery. He has another identity. What identity? The prince consort of Cayenne's Yui Commandery. Don't you see that the Commandery Princess Yanjun is sitting beside him? My guess is that he just bid for the Commandery Princess Yanjun, and she's the one that can actually afford it. So he is just a boy toy. Hee. Chen Xie, who sat not far away, looked puzzled. She was confused that Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanjun wanted to buy the array of water, fire, wind and thunder after they had already purchased the painting of a cloud dragon. What on earth did they want to do? These two valuable treasures were both top weapons that could help the owner kill enemies beyond their realm. For disciples from the school of the martial market, most of the time they stayed in the martial market, away from dangerous things. When fighting with each other, the disciples had a sense of propriety. Even when they went out to get more experience, there was little chance they would meet dangerous masters in the heaven realm. So why would they spend so many spiritual crystals on powerful treasures? Buying high-class pills to improve martial cultivation was far better than spending a large number of spiritual crystals to purchase war weapons. There was no way they were not aware of that. There must be something fishy behind this. Chen Xie raised her eyebrows and took a look at Yan Yanhuan sitting by her. She smiled and said, with such a fortune at such a young age, Zhang Yuochen deserves to be the disciple of Master Lei. I'm surprised he can use more than 100,000 to buy a set of formation flags. If I could get a set of formation flags like this, I would not be afraid of those evil warriors when I go out to experience. Yan Yanhuan threw out his chest with a high spirit. He said confidently, spiritual crystals mean nothing to the Yan's family. If Sister Xie really wants those formation flags, I will buy them and give them to you as a gift. Chen Xie was waiting for these words. She revealed a surprised expression intentionally and asked, really? But it's so expensive. It's all right. I will give you what you want, even if it is a star in the sky, not to mention formation flags. Then Yan Yanhuan held up the crystal plate which showed 150,000 spiritual crystals.